Hello, I'm Black Bright News, and I was wondering about the Afghan, I think he's an asylum seeker, who made a death threat to Nigel Farage. And I was wondering, he got 5 years. I was wondering if he got 5 years because Nigel Farage is a celebrity or if he's a politician. Because the reason why I ask that question is because, as you know, I work in domestic abuse. That's only part of my job. But every single referral I receive, because I've got to review them all, there are death threats, and genuine death threats, such that the victims need to flee. Sometimes it's a restricted weapon. It's not often a gun, but it's a knife. It's strangulation. These are genuine threats. And the police have the information of the perpetrator. They have the evidence on the victim, the marks, where they've been almost strangled to death. And yet these individuals are walking around the streets. And it made me wonder, what's the criteria when somebody threatens to kill someone else? Because if a threat to kill is punishable with 5 years prison, that means the prisons would be overrun. So what is the criteria? I was wondering if it was because he had a tattoo of an AK-47 on his face. And then it made me wonder, should certain tattoos, not be allowed? You know, because, they could give them, if it's already done, they can give them time to get them removed. Because they were saying he had an AK-47 tattooed on his face. And I was wondering if that was the reason why they thought he was more serious than those people in domestic violence situations. Now we've had 800 deaths, homicides, in domestic abuse situations where the perpetrator has threatened to kill and has killed. Now, the sources say they cannot pinpoint the exact number because the reporting system doesn't record specific outcomes. They say 243,000 are hospitalized or harassed or malicious communications. And it made me wonder if this Fawaz Khan was a malicious communicator. Because I don't believe that malicious communication just has to be in writing. So are they saying that by virtue of him saying those words and having a tattoo of an AK-47 on his face, he was a malicious communicator? You know, I'm just kind of looking for some kind of consistency and uniformity in the law. And it can't be one rule for one and another rule for another. Does it depend on how serious they take the threats? And that means that in the situations of domestic abuse, they're not taking those threats seriously enough. Because if the perpetrators are not being imprisoned for making a death threat, then they're not being taken seriously enough. I've written a few notes. The headline was Afghan migrant with gun tattooed, jailed for death threat to Farage. That was Metro. That's today, the 15th of October. The article was written by Brooke Davis. And I've put here what I've just said. I work in domestic abuse. I've said all of that. Oh, yeah. I wanted to say also, the jails would be overrun with people who threaten to kill in a moment of anger and frustration, like the Afghan migrant and those who are in domestic abuse situations. I put in the search engine, how many death threats in domestic abuse situations actually result in death? The response was that statistics do not track specific outcomes, but 108 people were killed by their partner or ex-partner. I'm sorry, I think I said 800. It was 108 people were killed by their partner or ex-partner in the year ending March 2024. That is high in 1 year. Stalking and harassment show that this type of behaviour is prevalent, and in the year ending March 2022, 234,045 domestic abuse-related stalking and harassment offences were recorded, which included malicious communications. So please ignore the statistics I gave before that I was trying to do from memory. So, like I said, could Fayaz Khan's threat constitute malicious communication? Is he, by virtue of having a tattoo of an AK-47 on his face, could he be considered a malicious communicator? The same way words are censored, I think tattoos should be censored too. And anyone with a threatening tattoo could be told to remove it at their own expense within a specific period of time. Now, what do you think? Do you think, well, first of all, why do you think that the threat to kill by Fayaz Khan was constituted a jail sentence of 5 years? Also, do you think it's got more to do with maybe his nationality, the fact that he's an asylum seeker? Or do you think that it's because Nigel Farage is who he is? I'm not sure with this one. But like I said, threats to kill, you watch it on the movies, people say in anger. And then sometimes, even though they say in anger, that person dies and they're actually suspected of committing the murder when they were just saying it in anger, and they would no way would they kill somebody. So some people say, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. But why would that thought even enter your head? And you have to ask yourself, who has the propensity to kill? What is their state of mind? What kind of things have been happening with these people? Who are they? And I don't think you can go on looks. I don't think you can go on background. I think you have to go on mental stability or instability in this case. I think there are a lot of unstable people out there. What about that boy who took a kitchen knife from his mother's kitchen and stabbed somebody at school? What's going on in his head? What's going on in the heads of people who kill and who threaten and who abuse? They're hurting. But whose fault is it? The person who they're killing, it's not their fault. The person who they're threatening, it's probably not their fault. It's some historical situation that's happened and they're angry at the world. Anyway, I think I'll stop it there. Your thoughts would be appreciated. Bye-bye for now. I've finished my day at work now, so I'm going home.